Welcome back to Heart with me, Shakti Sundari. We're here today for the Summer of Love series that we're filming in the UK, and we're speaking with Jen, otherwise known as Matahari G. She's a twin flame coach who supports others in tuning vibrationally to their twin flame match and template. She also guides and supports others in the path of ascension. So super excited to welcome you today. Hi.
Hi.
So, God, I've got so many questions for you. Don't know where to start. This whole thing of the twin flame, I guess, is something that's been really pertinent to me in my own journey. So, you know, I'm asking you personally as well as professionally. So
Yeah.
I guess an opening question might be, it seems to be something, this theme of twin flame reunion, which is sort of gaining more and more awareness right now. So why is that? Why is it suddenly something that is coming into more and more people's consciousness?
That's a really great question, Shakti. And so basically everything that I share comes directly from my own guidance, my own connection with my higher self. And what I've been shown is that we're in this phase now where the consciousness of the earth is evolving from the Kali Yuga, the Dark Ages, to the Golden Age. And so basically this happens every 26,000 years, and this is all recorded on like all the ancient calendars like the Mayan calendar and stuff. And so what happens is at these great timings when then there's these huge shifts in consciousness, Mother Father God sends out a clarion call to the most sort of powerful and illuminated and radiant beings in the universe. And this is what happened. Mother Father God sent out this call to star beings in the universe, saying that Gaia needs you to return. Gaia is calling for these original divine pairs to reunite, basically to come back to the earth plane, because what it is that the twin flames, they one of the great gifts that the twin flames bring is vibrational equilibrium. And what's happened is that, like, through patriarchy and what's gone on particularly in the last 2,000 years, the vibration of the earth has got really out of balance. And so in order to assist Gaia to come back into a vibrational balance, into equilibrium, it is essential that the twin flames return back to the earthly plane, because they are the embodiment of vibrational equilibrium and balance between their masculine and feminine. And twin flames have reached a level like beyond duality consciousness. They've returned back to a state of unity consciousness, oneness consciousness. And so and just their presence, their very beingness on the earth, it's just because like everything's based on frequency, and so the more people that come and are holding that frequency of balance and equilibrium, then Gaia then begins to attune to that frequency. So basically, and also it's to do with the unconditional love, because when genuine twin flames meet, and it is still rare for genuine twin flames to meet, a lot of people on the twin flame path, you know, they meet their catalyst twin and they believe that their catalyst twin is their real twin, and this goes on for a very long time. And you know, that's a really big thing that it'd be great to talk about, because people do need help to clarify that. But when genuine twin flames do unite and come back together, this basically, it activates such an intense field of unconditional love, like within your aura, within your etheric field, that basically the plan is that to get all these twin flames on particular grid points, and then to light up that grid point with unconditional love, and then you've got all these other twin flames on all these other grid points, like emanating that frequency of unconditional love, like basically God love. And then it has been decreed that it is that which will light up the electromagnetic grid of Gaia, and all of those beings that are on each grid point are going to just like connect to each other energetically, which is going to then create a grid, an unconditional love grid, which is going to assist Gaia's vibration to raise to a much higher frequency. But you know, that question is very multifaceted, and you could probably, like, you know, it's a whole chapter of a book, you know, many different elements to that, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people have felt this call, have this
Yeah.
burning desire, have this curiosity. You know, you mentioned the word twin flame, and so many people just want to know about it. There is a hunger that I'm sensing,
Yes.
that I feel and I've sensed all around me as well. So, but what I've heard you say is that there are a certain number of,
Yeah.
like a limited number of genuine twin flames on the earth at this time. Can you just clarify that?
Yeah, there isn't. No, what it is every single person has a twin flame. Like, we were all created, like the masculine and feminine energy cannot exist without each other. You can't, like, God didn't think, oh, I'm just going to create masculine and like you can't create like the masculine without the feminine. It is one. It's like two sides of the same coin. You can't have one side of a coin. Like, each coin has two sides, and that is the masculine and feminine. So every single person, every soul, every being was created. Every animal, everything, every star, every flower, like the whole of creation is based on this divine union, this sacred divine union. So everybody does have a twin flame, but not everybody is soul contracted to unite with their twin flames in this lifetime. Many are contracted to unite with their twin flames in this lifetime. But I talk a lot about the 144,000, and what that refers to the basically the group of illumined starseed beings that we are from the same soul group, and we're very, very deeply connected to Archangel Michael. We're very, very deeply connected to Mother Mary, as well as that being our parental lineage that we have come through. So the 144,000 starseeds, we have been strategically placed around the planet in order to support Gaia in this trajectory of transformation that she's very, very clearly on. So the 144,000 is a guarantee number that there will be, and in this particular turning of the cycle, there will be at some point 144,000 twin flames that are in physical union. Because that is the number that is required to basically to affect the mass consciousness. That's enough to actually send that message back into the collective consciousness to say, unconditional love is all there is, God consciousness is all there is, divine union is all there is, ego death is the only way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so basically the 144,000 refers to a master number, but that's also connected to the soul group configuration, because basically each soul group is comprised of 144 souls, and that is 72 masculine polarity, 72 feminine polarity souls. And how it works is, though, they each make, so the masculines make an outer ring and the feminines make an inner ring, and within that configuration you stand vibrationally opposite your counterpart. That's how it works. So and then basically, so you're in a circle for 72 masculine on the inside, 72 feminine, and then so you and your twin flame are opposite each other, but then the masculine polarity who's next to your twin flame, he's your catalyst twin.
Right, and that's something you wanted to speak about.
Yes, so it's really important. Yeah.
So maybe just for newcomers to this,
what is a twin flame?
What is a twin flame?
Yeah, what is
Start
a twin
with
flame?
What is a twin flame?
Okay, very good question. Yeah. Okay, so basically, what a twin flame is. So, in the beginning, and I never read this. I only ever God showed me this. I was shown through direct seeing, direct knowing. Every single thing I speak about comes from that place. So what I was shown was that in the beginning of creation, all that existed was this pure white light. Call it, I don't know, call it God's parents. I don't know. Anyway, call it whatever you like. But it was just this pure, void of light, or this, this kind of mass of light. And that light wanted to know itself, because it was all very great being that light, but it didn't really, couldn't really look at itself or interact with itself, because it was just this one big blob. So it was decided, in order to support the expansion of that light, ultimately, it was decided that light would split from itself in order to see itself, know itself, recognise itself, meet itself, and ultimately love itself, merge with itself, and unify with itself. That's why it all happened. So at the very, very beginning of creation, all that existed was this pure white light, and it sought to know itself. And in that moment where it sought to know itself, that activated the first split. And what happened was the energy that first sprang forth from that original light sprang forth as a unit of masculine and feminine energy, which existed as a sort of like a circle of unified masculine and feminine energy. And it stayed like that for a few billion years, like, you know, evolving as this androgynous being and entity within our soul groups, and it was all connected to our soul groups. And then at some stage within the evolutionary cycle, there was like a big council took place, a high council took place, and it was decided that original unit of masculine and feminine energy would split in order to basically find itself again. Like, that was the reason. In order to go off onto their own sort of journeys, to come back together again, to expand and to just like really just like explode in growth. So your twin flame is your original vibrational match, who you were created with at the very, very moment that your soul was created. You were created with your vibrational counterpart, because it is literally impossible for the masculine and feminine energy to coexist without each other.
So this happened once.
This happened once, and then it split. So then the twin flames split, and you know, and then they chose to incarnate into like Sirius, Pleiades, different star systems. But it was all very, very harmonious for thousands and millions of years. It was all very, very, very harmonious with the twin flames. They were like, oh yeah, let's split, and like, but it was always like, just come back together wherever they went in the universe. They'd always just like come back together, and just, you know. But things really, really changed at the time of Atlantis, and I talk a lot about the time of Atlantis in my teaching. And basically, what happened was, what my guide showed me was that so the twin flames had been incarnating harmoniously all around the universe, including the Earth, actually. But at the time of Atlantis, an experiment was allowed to take place, because at that point the Earth's seal was protected. The Earth's electromagnetic seal was totally protected. But at the time of Atlantis, it was the Council of Light came together, and an experiment was allowed to take place on the Earth. And so part of that experiment was that the electromagnetic grid that surrounded the Earth plane was allowed to be made vulnerable. It was allowed to be broken. And as soon as that happened, this dark energy entered into the earthly plane. You can call it the Cabal, you can call it, there's many names for it, the Cabal, the elite, the Greys, but it was that darkness, the energy of darkness was allowed to enter into the physical earthly plane at the time of Atlantis. So when that happened, the twin flames were in physical union, but part of the agenda of that energy was to split the twin flames, because and to create a distortion in the field, you know, because the twin flames were holding that paradise frequency. Just in their beingness, they were just holding the paradise frequency. So basically the twin flames were targeted by the, I like to refer to them as like Martians. They're kind of like, to me, they're like sort of like this like very masculine, kind of like dark, kind of like Martian energy, sort of like invaded like the earth, and it brought with it this agenda of separation, of war, of like, this is my land, because it was in Atlantis, it was all just one big utopian community. Like, it was all this like really, really high vibratory society. But everyone was in unity, working together to serve and benefit the all. But when this energy was allowed to enter, it brought with it like this idea of separation, of like, this is my land, get off my land, and if you don't get off my land, I'm going to kill you, and all this. So this energy came in at the time of Atlantis, and these call them Martian brothers, or whatever you want, being really nice, calling them Martian brothers. Yeah, their agenda was to basically to lure the masculine twin flames to go and serve in their war agenda, which was all about creating separation within the land. And, you know, like, get off, like, this is my bit of land, this is your bit of land, get out, sort of thing. So that's what happened, and this energy came in, and it lured a lot of the masculine twin flames away, and they went. The vast majority of male twin flames went.
Where did they go?
They went off, and they joined the armies. they joined this it was all, you know, part of the divine plan. But what I'm saying is, at the time of Atlantis, that was when the twin flames genuinely experienced their first ever separation from each other. So in my work, I have so many twin flames coming to me and the women almost invariably have abandonment issues, and the men almost invariably have guilt issues. And so, and they'll be like, you know, and then we can tap into like many lifetimes where that story has been playing out. But my guides always just like take it back to that timeline of Atlantis, where they experienced their first and original split. And so what I'm always guided to do in my work is to change that timeline, because we are multidimensional avatars, and our consciousness is coexisting on multidimensional realms of consciousness. So that means that we have sovereign access to past, present and parallel timelines through our will and through our intention. And so in my sessions, I'm guided to take people back to the time of Atlantis, where they experienced that original split, and to basically to change that script. Okay. And it has been phenomenal. Almost every single person that I have ever done this work with, you wouldn't believe the sobs. I mean, wailing on the floor, wailing.
Yeah, I can totally believe it.
Oh my God. And even like I've bought through this Atlantis MP3, and everyone that I work with, I just say, just do the Atlantis MP3. Like, it's just going to save you so much money on counselling, so much money on like psychotherapy. Just do the Atlantis MP3 for 11.11, you know. And they do it, and like, so all the people in my groups, they do it, and then they do it loads of times, and they still are just like releasing, like it's so powerful. So I've done it myself as well, and it's like that core abandonment wound for the feminine, and it's like you're healing it, you're transforming that script. It's so phenomenal, it's so powerful.
You've explained like the reason for twin flame.
Yeah.
And then you also talked about catalyst twin flame.
Yes.
Right, so what is a catalyst twin flame? Okay,
so basically, as I explained earlier, each soul group is comprised of 144 beings, 72 masculine, 72 feminine polarity counterparts. Yeah. And so you've got the masculine on the outer circle, the feminine on the inner circle, and they're all opposite each other. They're vibrational matches. But the ones, so say in your case, like your masculine is opposite you, then the masculine next to him. Yeah. Is your catalyst twin. Okay, it's like your near twin. It's called your near twin. Called your false twin. Yeah. So, but what's happened is that when we meet our catalyst twins, we have a big history with them. Like, we've been married to them. We've had like literally hundreds of lifetimes where we've been married to them. And so you have so many signs, you have so many synchronicities, you have Kundalini awakenings, you have telepathy, you have so many of the symptoms of twin flame union that everyone's just like, well, it must be my twin flame, it must be my twin flame. But the hallmarks of a catalyst twin are attachment, rejection, abandonment, no resolution, it's like it's a totally different quality of vibration when there's just this attachment. There's just like, I need to be with this person. Like, I can't possibly like have a fulfilling life unless I'm with this person. There's just so many old hooks and needs associated with the catalyst twin. But this is and it's not like that at all with the real twin. It's totally different. So the difference with the real twin is that you just feel this knowing. There's no questioning, and that's why people come to me and they're like, "Oh, I'm not sure if it's my twin." I'm like, "It's probably not your twin." Like, if it is your real twin, like, there is no questioning. There is just knowing, and there's trust. There's like you're dead in an ocean of trust. Like, you're gone. Like, there's no fear, there's no paranoia, and there's just this like sense of trusting God's grace. Like, with regards to how this manifests, and even if this manifests, there's no attachment to, because you know you're in union with your twin. Like when you meet your true twin flame, whether you are with them on the physical plane or not, you know you are in union, because you are awakened to your multidimensionality, and you are awakened to the knowing that your consciousness is operating concurrently on fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension and above. And in those dimensional realities where there's no such thing as duality, all there exists is union. All there exists is union with the divine, union with yourself, and union with your beloved, because it's all one thing. It's all one and the same thing. So with the real twin, there's just like, there's no, there's just trust and zero attachment, and you just want them to be happy. Like there's no like, oh, I don't want you to do that because it's not serving me. It's like, if it's serving you, do it. Like, just do it. Like, it's like a kind of like a child in a way. It's like how you feel about your child. Like, you love them so much that you just want them to do like whatever they want to do to make them happy. Like, and that regardless of what your needs don't even come into the picture, and that's different from self-love though, but we can talk about that as well. So basically many people on this path, a bit too many people for my liking, just really get obsessed with their catalyst twins. And what I explain to people is that, you have a very, very powerful soul contract with your catalyst twin. And so, if you believe that your catalyst twin is your true twin, it's like this. It's like your life is like being played out in this great theatre, and at the moment the catalyst twin has the role of the hero. He's the hero in your story, but all the while your true twin is waiting in the wings, and your true twin will not enter the stage until the catalyst twin leaves, because the true twin hasn't come to battle, hasn't come to win anything. It's just grace. It's just pure grace. So that's what I say to people. I'm like, your real twin is waiting in the wings, maybe you could but I help people see. I help people see. I've helped a lot of people see that they're in relationships with catalyst twins, and I have helped a lot of people to cut those cords. And then the real twin, of course, they've just come in because they're waiting. And so I'm doing sessions with people, and they're talking to me about it, like twin. I'm like, it's not your twin. It's not your twin. Like, it's clearly not your twin. And then the real twin's there, like sending me loads, and she's like, yeah, give me goosebumps. And I'm like, should we just do the cutting cords bit? And they're like, yeah, all right.
So that's another question then. So if in your sessions with somebody, if you identify this, is your advice to someone when that's kind of becomes known to cut it there and then? Oh,
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, because you're holding up your true twin union. I mean, but that's not to say that the catalyst twin isn't a really, really amazing experience to have, because it is. And out of everything, really, it's the thing that prepares you the most to be with your true twin, because they'll trigger you so deeply that you will have to just clear all of your shit, basically. They will require you to clear so much of your kind of the neediness templates, the attachment codependency templates. They will force you to clear them and to face them. So they're like a kind of intense cleanup, vibrational cleanup before the twin. I think it's a good thing, but I think it's really good to call it what it is. Does
that mean that once you get to the stage of reuniting with your twin that you don't have any shit anymore?
No, that's a really great question. Thank you for asking that, Shakti. So yes, you do. But what happens is, and what I've always said from the beginning of my sharings, is that in order for a twin flame union to be sustainable and triumphant, at least one of the twins has to be stable in 5D consciousness, has to be fully residing in enlightenment consciousness, in order for it to be able to work out, for it to be successful. And so what happens is, even if you are the enlightened twin in the relationship, in the union, so when you come into union, there will still be kind of some old things that are gonna need to come up. It's appropriate for them to come up. But what happens is that as the twin flame coupling now has at least one person stable in 5D. This means that they are adept at holding space for their own shadow. They have become a master at holding space for their own shadow self. And because of that, they can now hold space for their beloved shadow self. And the shadow self will inevitably be triggered in the union. But what happens is you create a safe container for that energy to be seen, to begin to rise. But the role of your beloved is to always see you for who you truly are, as the divine being that you really are. And the role of the beloved is to sing your soul song back to you when you have forgotten. So in that moment where your shadow's being triggered, you know there's stuff's coming up and stuff's being cleared, your beloved will not identify you as that wounded self. And so this fast tracks and accelerates the healing process.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So part of my work is, you know, and I want to really deepen this work of like working with couples, of actually how to hold space for each other. What on earth does it mean to hold space for each other? But it really is the key to like the collective twin flame mission. Like returning back to earth, is that we all become adept at being able to hold space for our own shadow and holding space for our beloveds, because it will come up. Yeah.
You talked about 3D and 5D.
Yeah.
Can you just briefly explain that?
Sure. So basically, you know, when we all like made this decision that to incarnate onto the physical earthly plane, we agreed to come into a vibrational frequency, a particular vibrational frequency. Let's call it 3D. And so within the 3D consciousness, there are predominant beliefs such as that wall is solid and I'm going to age, or like cancer kills, or whatever. There's just like all these like beliefs that we kind of like, we are incarnated into a culture that is very heavy with these particular programs, and it's just a frequency band. So what happens is we all incarnate. When we incarnate, we have a dormant Kundalini energy as well, and this is very much connected. The dormant Kundalini is very much connected to being locked into 3D consciousness. Okay, so there's the connection. So, and it's just like, you know, what schools have told us, what our parents have told us, what the media's telling us, like about how this is how things are. It's like, I don't think so. Like, you know, this is just like your perception. It ain't mine. Anyway, right, so that's all going on. So we're born into this culture, 3Ds. Everyone's like, yeah, 3D is so great and whatever. Anyway, so, but what happens is, along your spiritual path, and particularly for the 144,000, there will be a moment, or you could call it a timeline convergence, whereby their higher self will send forth either their twin flame, it will be a moment where you connect with nature, it could be even a poem, an amazing poem, but in that moment that will trigger your Kundalini energy to begin to stir from its long slumber, you know. Something will happen, and then the Kundalini will be just like, oh God, and the Kundalini starts to wipe the sleep from its eyes, and so, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, the feminine serpent kind of like, she's like, sort of like wakes up, and then like the masculine serpent kind of like wakes up, and then they look at each other and they go, oh my God, there you are. And then they rush towards each other. And then in that moment where they wake up and they recognize to each other and rush towards each other, that activates the hieros gamos, the inner alchemical marriage. And that inner alchemical marriage is the moment when your consciousness dies from 3D consciousness, from the idea that I am separate from you, we're all separate, everything's just separate, to the truth that actually all that exists is union. That's all that exists in the whole entire universe is union, and that union is activated within your own physical system. And so when that sacred merge, that sacred marriage, the hieros gamos happens at the base of your spine, This then, so the Kundalini energy, it meets, it merges, it marries at the base of your spine, and then it begins its ascent up the spine. And as it begins its ascent up the spine, it does like this like intense cleaning process. So that's when everything, like all the purging, so all of the wounding, all of the ancestral, the abuse, the torture, the persecution, the whatever, it's like it has to, it kind of like pulls it up. It's like, because that energy of union wants to kind of subsume and dissolve all illusion and all fear, you know. So then it starts going through all of the energy centers, and it's a really intense experience, like the Kundalini awakening. It's like really not for the faint-hearted. It's like really intense, you know. So they all start their purging and all loads and loads of stuff going on, and then it raises up and raises up and raises up. Then once the Kundalini gets to the heart, it connects with the higher heart, the thymus gland, and then that is connected to the frequency of unconditional love. And so then this then activates the codes of unconditional love that are stored within your heart center, which is obviously quite blissful, and then rises up, and then it hits your pineal gland. When the Kundalini hits your pineal gland, as the unified, the merge happens, this then basically triggers the pineal gland to start releasing these secretions that are infused with remembrance of our divine nature, of our multidimensionality, the fact that we are all avatar beings. Our consciousness is coexisting on multiple dimensional realms. So this information is stored in our pineal gland, and it is directly related to the Kundalini energy. And so so once the Kundalini energy gets to your pineal gland, and all of this, like your consciousness is then flooded with codes and remembrance of your multidimensionality, in that moment you realize, oh my God, I'm a multidimensional being. So that means that everyone's going on about how the only thing that really exists is the 3D reality, but what I'm experiencing is absolute bliss, union, unconditional love, angels, soul family, like that is what I'm experiencing. And that is, so 5D consciousness it's like a different radio channel. Like if you imagine we've got a radio, you've got like Capital, you've got Magic, you've got Heart FM, but you could just call that 3D FM. They're all on the same, it's all running on the same timeline, but they're just different stations. So what it is in order to assist the planetary ascension, we have to wake up, we have to get in tune with 5D consciousness, because 5D consciousness, like this is the level of consciousness that will co-create paradise, because that's why we're here, is to co-create paradise and have a good time.
We have to wrap up now.
Okay.
Yeah. So wow, everything you've shared is so powerful. I mean, I've been feeling so much energy, like from about here up. It's like buzzing.
Yeah.
Major download.
So that means all the other people watching it will get that as well.
Strong.
Yeah.
So just one final thing. Do you have a parting message for anybody who's watching this that's just coming to you right now? Just a short message you might have for them.
Okay. So the message is that, you know, you think you're searching for your beloved, but you're not. You're searching for yourself, and you're searching for your union with the divine. And you promised your beloved that you would remember that, and you promised your beloved that you would wake up from the illusion that it is something outside of yourself that will connect you with source energy, because that is just not the truth. Your connection to source energy is within you. It's within your own heart. It's within your own presence, within the space and the gap and the peace within your own being. That is what you are searching for. And if you can come to that knowing and reside vibrationally in that knowing, then you will emit the most extraordinary fragrance and tone that will be picked up by your beloved twin flame, and they will be magnetized to you. That is the fast track to twin flame union.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Wonderful. Woohoo. I feel like I could just go on asking you questions forever, but yes, thank you so much. Amazing sharing. I know so many people are going to really love this and get a lot from it, and probably want to watch it again and again and again, actually.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I'm just really getting strong messages from Spirit that it's time for me to go out into the world and share what happened to me when I was like really young, and because just everything, because it's for all of us. It's all of our birthright is to and so it's my duty to share that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jen. So yeah, really heartfelt thanks to Jen Matahari-Ji, and thank you for watching so much, and join me again next time on Heart to Heart with me, Shakti Sundari.